I know you've kind of addressed this on yours. They're saying it's a four-way quarterback competition. Do you really think it is? And is it a good thing or a bad thing if it's not?
I guess it's like the way you could describe it as a four-way competition is if somebody blows their mind, they're not going to close the door on that guy, right? Like if Shador gets out there and looks like prime Peyton Manning, okay, they'll play Shador. They're not going to be married to any of these other guys that they have on the roster. The same is true with like Dylan Gabriel if he looks like Drew Brees. But other than that, they're more than likely going to be picking between Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco. And I think a lot of this training camp, and I don't know if Browns fans are prepared for this, is going to be about evaluating Kenny Pickett more than anything because they kind of know what they have in Joe Flacco and his offense. They're going to watch some things to confirm. You're going to want to make sure that the interceptions aren't jumping when you see them in practice because older quarterbacks do tend to throw more interceptions as their arm talent starts to wither. But with Kenny, that's going to be the evaluation. They're going to look at him all training camp. They're going to evaluate him. They're going to give him almost pretty much the bulk of the first team reps. And they're going to be asking themselves the question, is this guy better than Joe Flacco? Can we cut Joe Flacco and keep Kenny Pickett and feel good about that decision, right? That's going to be what this is about. If Kenny Pickett plays well in training camp, does well in the joint practices, does fine in the preseason, then Kenny Pickett will be the starting quarterback in week one. But if Kenny Pickett does not take this job, it's not going to be his, right? He's not going to stink throughout camp and just get the job. That's what Joe Flacco's there for, right? So that's kind of how I view this competition. They want Kenny Pickett to take the job. They're setting up Kenny Pickett to prove that he can take the job, but they're not handing Kenny Pickett this job, which means that, hey, there's room for Dylan to take the job if he blows you away. Same with Shador Sanders. And obviously, if nobody blows you away, then that's exactly what Joe Flacco's there for, because he's not going to practice enough to blow you away during camp, right? So that's kind of how I view it. I think this is a lot about Kenny Pickett. And I know some Browns fans don't want to hear that, including part of myself, because I'm not the biggest fan of Kenny Pickett. But that's kind of just like, it's obvious to me what they're setting up right now is, hey, we're evaluating Kenny Pickett, and then we'll figure out what we have in these younger guys as the season goes on if Kenny is not going to give us quality quarterback play.